Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing? How y'all doing in the cafe? Are you ready for some hot and steamy conversation this morning? What you drinking on? What you sipping on? Caramel macchiato? That's my favorite beverage right there. That's how I get my day started. Hot and steamy.
My mother and I had a fantastic relationship.
This is Steven, and I just wanted to share.
You should always be in a place where you're celebrated. Life is too short to stay somewhere and tolerate it.
If you cannot help a person, don't hurt them, especially with women. Soy's just whole essence is to bring out the best in other people.
Something that touches other people, and that's what your show does. It doesn't. It's not just conversation as you started. It actually has a purpose.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's your girl Soy bringing you stimulating conversation to the Brew Nation. It's always a joyous occasion here in the cafe. Think on it, drink on it, let's talk now. If soy means I am, therefore you are bold, beautiful, intelligent, amazing, and leaving your insecurities and inabilities to be tested, then rested, while you have real talk with Soy. Welcome to the cafe where you can always come right on in and unapologetically be you. Be you. Thank you for joining me this Saturday. It's a new dawning day. It's a new dawning day. I'm happy to be here on this brisk, cool Saturday morning. The cafe is lit. When I tell you lit with coffee, I've had my second cup already because I want to be ready for what's to come. And y'all get ready too. So grab your favorite morning beverage, invite a friend, tag a friend, and tell them to join us in the cafe while we have this enlightening, motivating, energetic conversation with my brothers and sisters of the leaf. Of the leaf. So if you're not using it, you may not know what that is, but hang on. I'm going to bring you up to speed real quick. All right, y'all. So listen, first of all, let me just give my birthday shout out. You know, I love my birthdays. I love people I love to see people celebrate who they are. So if you are celebrating and this is your birthday season, happy birthday to you. Enjoy and celebrate you. You know, because we got to teach people how to treat us. So don't just sit back and say it's okay. I know COVID is happening. The pandemic is out there and it's real, and we're limited to what we can do. But find some safe way to celebrate who you are and get your family involved, especially the people who are in your household. All right, so let's love on each other and celebrate each other. Happy birthday! I love you. I really do. I do. All right, y'all. So in the cafe, with me today are a couple of people. Yes. We crowded. We crowded this morning. It's a couple of people with some motivating stories, and their stories are because of what they do. You know how we grow up and we start taking on these. We have hobbies, and our hobbies consume us. You know, and they become a part of the fabric of who we are. I've had conversation offline with these people, and when I tell you their hobby has become part of the fabric of who they are, and not only that, they are generating businesses from this hobby, lucrative businesses, and I'm so excited to share that with you. One of my guests, Antonio Brooks, age 45. He's a man of many titles, many titles, and here's a few: father, author, and founder of a nonprofit organization called Fight for Life. He is the owner and CEO of Soul Brothers Cigar. So let's welcome to the cafe, Mr. Antonio Brooks. Good morning, Antonio. How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. It's a pleasure to be on this side of the ground.
Hey, indeed it is. So thank you for joining me in the cafe. We appreciate you, all that you do. So thank you for that. All right, another phenomenal guest that we have in the show today is Deborah Dinkins. Deborah Dinkins. She's from Mississippi. Live in Tampa right now. She is living in Tampa, although she's originally from Mississippi. She lives in Tampa, and she enjoys a variety of cigars, but Drew Estate line is one of her favorites. She is a member of Phat in the cigar community, and she started that. She joined that organization in April of 2020. So, welcome to the cafe, Deborah. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, sister of the leaf. I want to say that sister of the leaf, right? That's what it is. I promise.
Yes.
I promised my guests that I would give them some information, right? I promised them that they would be knowledgeable about some information. So let's just start. Let's just jump right into it. Let's jump right in from the perspective of Cigar 101. For those of you who you've gotten started, how did you get started? How did you start this? What brought you into wanting to?
Well, how did I got started? My son's father, he smoked cigars, and he would introduce me to different cigars, and he would say, "Try this and try that." And at first, from a man's perspective, what a woman likes is not necessarily what a woman really likes. So what I found, I'm an avid coffee drinker. I must have my coffee every morning. I must. That starts my day. So I lean more towards flavored cigars initially, because that is something that was familiar to me, my day-to-day life. You know, I enjoy sweet, and having a cigar with my coffee enhanced that. But I slowly started learning that most of the things that you enjoy, you can associate that with some type of cigar. So whether it's a mild cigar for breakfast or medium body for lunch and full flavored cigar in the afternoon, it just tends to increase as your experience and your knowledge increase. So I would suggest that any lady who's interested in starting smoking cigars, educate themselves. Go out, go to the event, see what they're offering. If you know what you like myself with the coffee, that's how I started. And then I slowly started venturing into other areas of the cigars. And then finally I was just hooked. And then I wanted to try everything. But I wasn't really getting educated. So I started joining the different groups, which really started educating me about the cigar culture and the cigar lifestyle.
So if I'm a person that I'm a sweet kind of chick, right? I like berries and fruits and all that little cute girly stuff. So if I was interested in wanting, or there are women out there like me who kind of have this sweet thing, what would you recommend? How can they start, or what are some good flavors that they can start with to introduce them to it?
Well, most women automatically get introduced right away to a cigar called Tatiana, and it does have that realm of berry, cherry, rum, honey. So groovy blue. It has a sweet taste, a sweet flavor. It is a very mild smoke. So if you say, "Hey, I like this," and I could easily suggest try one of these. If you are a coffee drinker, I would say, well, Java has the mocha, they have the mint, the latte. So those are the ones that most women start out with, and then they develop their own taste for the type of cigars they prefer. But some of them tend to stick to those particular cigars because they're more comfortable with those. So in your situation, if you like those berries, that brand of cigars would be a go-to for me to suggest for you because that's in your realm of flavor that you like. That's your day-to-day.
I see. Now, is there a stigma with so if the woman decides to start smoking, the fruity ones, I'm gonna refer to them as feminine or the mild ones. Is there a stigma that you ain't really no smoker because you come in light? So is there the pressure to be heavy? Do you gotta bring the heat? Because we come in environments, and we're gonna talk about women in this environment in a little bit. But when we come in environments, sometimes some of us can go toe to toe with the guys. And so how does that transcend in that industry? And I really want to hear from you, and I want to hear Antonio's point on that. So,
and you see, Antonio started laughing right away, so you understand there is a stigma.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's sort of like the motorcycle world where you have what they call 1%ers. You just have some people that just want to be in the rim or atmosphere of, cigars, and people who really smoke cigars, those people stand out. We know them right off the jump. As soon as we see them, they really don't know how to hold a cigar, how to cut a cigar, what's a V cut versus, a different cut. They don't really know how to, pull on a cigar. And a lot of them think cigars and smoking cigarettes are the same. With two different people. So, you don't want to swallow cigar smoke. Trust me, you never want to do that. So, yes, it's a total difference.
You don't want to swallow. Okay. Not the cigar smoke. That's not what you're going to do. Y'all heard that, right? You don't want to swallow.
No.
All right, says Antonio. All right. So Antonio, tell us a little bit about you and how you got into the cigar world, and then I want him to drop something else on y'all what he does in the cigar industry. But tell us about your how you started smoking and what you enjoy.
I'm a little different from my sister that's on the line. She likes coffee with her cigars. I'm more of a tea and cognac type person. For many years, cigars has always been paired with a beverage, and most times you'll see like a whiskey or brandy paired with a cigar. But I'm more of a cognac and tea type person. I started off mild to medium, and then I increased my palate because it's basically all about your palate and what you like to smoke. So I'm more now full body Maduro smoker right now. Being here in Miami, Florida, the Hispanic community, they grew up in the tobacco industry. And for many years, they, really came off the backs of blacks and black dollars. And I saw that vision, and I kept saying to myself, it gotta be some black owned companies that can provide good quality cigars for an affordable price. So, long story short, I'm an avid poker player. I'm sitting at a poker table talking to a friend. And I told him, I really want to get into business, but because I'm black, it's hard for me to, break through. And he said, I got a guy, you can meet. And, we talked a little bit. And like the next week I called him. I said, I want to meet your guy. He said, but he lives in Lima, Peru. I said, okay, no problem. Put it together. I'm going to go over there. He said, man, you going to go to Lima, Peru? I said, yeah. He said, you sure? I said, yeah. Made the arrangements, fly over there. The only thing is Lima, Peru is known for counterfeit money. So when I got there, they thought I was really trying to be, into counterfeit money. I was like, no, that's not why I'm here. I want to learn about the cigar, the leaf where the tobacco is grown and the whole nine. But Nicaragua is the biggest distributor of tobacco. But long story short, I never had an opportunity to meet the gentleman that I was going to meet. because of, they thought I was there for counterfeit money. And I flew back home, and on a Sunday, Tuesday, I got a call to meet a gentleman at a private airport. We sat on his plane and we talked for like 4 hours. And he asked me, why would you want to do this? And why would you come to a third world country by yourself where you could be robbed and murdered and kidnapped? And I said, I'm from the jungle. I grew up in the hood. So, I had no fear about it. It's about business. And I got two things. I got a firearm on my hip and I got money in my pocket. I'm just here to do business. And he said, I like this guy. And we sat, we talked, and I told him what I wanted to do, and, he gave me an opportunity.
And that
so
opportunity,
from
that opportunity developed to what? What was that opportunity?
That opportunity developed into Soul Brothers Cigars. I started the company last year in February. In a few more days, it'll be my 1 year anniversary. And all of my cigars come direct from Nicaragua. I just branched out to Dominican Republic. I have 2 cigars that come from there. And I just set up a Zoom with Honduras to see what they bring to the table. And if I like what they bring to the table, I'm going to add them to my cigar line. And the rest is pretty much history.
So where else are your cigars now being sold? You said you're in Miami. Where are your cigars being sold now? And how do you service your clients?
It's funny because I run this right out of my home. There's no traditional brick and mortar, or there's no Mexicans in the back rolling cigars and know it that way. I did for a whole year didn't even have a website, which I'm going to launch the website next month. But I pretty much, with the pandemic hitting, I pretty much ran everything on Facebook and Instagram. I took pictures of my cigars with the prices, and I just pretty much told people, hey, if you're going to be home, you have to stay home because of the pandemic and quarantine or whatever, allow me to keep you safe. Order your cigars through text or inbox, and I'll give you the payment platforms, Cash App, Instagram, PayPal. You order them, and I'll mail them right to your front door. And right now, I have accounts in Las Vegas at Sugar Daddy's, Louisiana at the Blowing Smoke, New Jersey, Green Room, in LA is LA Lounge, Texas. I'm down in McCoy's right now. I have a large military clientele, so I'm happy to say, and I'm blessed that my cigars are now in Afghanistan, Japan. I just hit Germany last week, and Hawaii.
Okay. Well, kudos to you. Kudos to you for just for being successful at this. What are the prices of cigars? What do they run for? Because I hear this is a very expensive activity.
Yes. Cigars and the cigar life, it's a lifestyle, but when I got into the industry, I said to myself, I wanted to provide customers with good quality cigars for an affordable price. Mm-hmm. So my cigars run from as low as $4, and the top seller on my line right now is $15. And that's the cigar that we dedicated to Kobe Bryant when he passed.
Now, I learned that when I was talking to the both of you offline, I learned that there's a lingo, and there's a lot of play on words in this industry with cigars. One, Deborah is from Phat, and that's PHATASH. That is a community, a group, and they also have a Facebook group. Tell us a little bit about Phat, Deborah, and why you joined that cigar community.
I initially, when I wanted to increase my knowledge of the cigar community and the cigar lifestyle, I initially joined a group called Grown Ash, and I got invited to the Phat group. And right away, what I did, I went into the page and I noticed they also had a brand. And when I went out to the brand, I read the intro about the group, about the cigar community. Also, it had information about the cigar lifestyle. Very informative right from the beginning. So I felt right at home as well. And when I initially, started to post some of my pictures, some of my cigars and things that I was pairing them with, I noticed that the admin, which is Cedric Dunson, would personally make a comment on to my page. And little by little, the other admins. So I was welcomed right from the beginning. I mean, I felt right at home. And also, he said he looks forward to my contribution to the group. And I was thinking, wow, my contribution, I don't know what that means, but I'm just, here to be part of this group. But then I realized, they asked for the members' birthdays, starting out, and they have a magazine and they have a whole collection of brands that fit everyone's different lifestyle. They have the topic Tuesdays. They do the throwback, so you could put your where you were and what you were doing at that time. So they really were engaging with the members. They really wanted to see what you were doing. They really were into asking you, hey, what are you smoking? How did you like that? And like you said, some people just join because they want to be a part of something. But when you join that group, you're really going to learn a lot about the cigar lifestyle. So when I traveled to Atlanta to see a friend, I was shocked because Cedric reached out to me and he said, hey, I see you in this area. Come meet with me and have a smoke. And I was like, wow.
He's a very good brother.
Asking me to come smoke with him. So
I had that same experience.
Right. And none of the other groups I've been a part of, I've traveled to different cities, would say, hey, where are you? Let's meet up. And after that meeting was said and really seeing his vision of where he wants his group to go, we had a great conversation. He took me to one of the local cigar lounges there and suggested, he asked me, what do you like? It's not like he says, oh, do you want one of these or want one? He was interested in what I like to smoke. So we sat down and we talked, and a month or so after meeting said, he invited me to be one of his admins in his group. And it has really taken off.
That's awesome.
For me.
That's
from
awesome.
there.
Deborah, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So that hospitality that he extended to you, that Southern hospitality, it's a wonderful thing. And sometimes we only see things like that happen when the person is interested in us or wants something from us. Was it strictly platonic? Because people are like, oh, he invited you to smoke. Like, was it leading up to something? Was it straight just about the smoke? It was just about cigars. It was just about the community, and it was just about providing education to you. Was it just that? And is that the norm for this group, or is it just about hooking up, which some people think? You go to a cigar bar and you just want to go there because the men are there, and women just want to get picked up. I'm saying nothing wrong with that either. People have their different motivations. The community is a networking brand. However, in this particular group, their interest is all about the cigar lifestyle and the cigar culture and what you bring. Because I don't care how long you've been smoking, you're always going to learn something new. Oh, okay.
Someone has It's evolving. It's constantly evolving. And I've had the opportunity to meet some really great entrepreneurs. And Anthony, I see his brand all over Phat. You know, people getting deliveries, and I had someone, and I took a screenshot of Anthony's cards because someone had posted it. I just haven't had the opportunity to try your cigars, but believe me, it's in my little log for me to reach out to you and try your cigars because I've heard so much about it. Because that's how he was. It was platonic. The meeting was, hey, you know, let me welcome you into this lifestyle because, like you said, you're going to discuss how sisters are treated as opposed to when they're walking into a lounge versus when a man walks in. Because there's a lot of brothers that know much less about smoking cigars than I do. And I've had men reach out to me on my page to get my opinion about certain cigars. So that's what Phat Ash means to the women and the men in that group. We are here as a community, and we are going to educate each other. Okay. And we're going to enjoy, you know, everything about the cigar lifestyle together.
All right.
You know, if I may, piggyback off what, you know, my sister just said. Like I said, I had the same experience. Cigar Week in Atlanta, and he's like an icon in this industry. Him and gentlemen like Cigar Mike, they're like icons. Mm-hmm. So me being sort of like an infant in this particular world, I'm inside of the patio, and Sid walks up to me. I'm standing there looking like, you know, I'm looking at a rock star, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I told him. I said, man, you don't know how much you've influenced me and how much, you know, I look up to you. And he said to me, man, you know, let's go over to the humidor and get you something to smoke. Now, I own my own company, but he wants to offer me, you know, smoke. The hospitality was there. We ordered drinks, and we just, you know, sat there and we talked about business. You know, even when I met Cigar Mike, another icon in this industry, these gentlemen, open arms, you know, a world of knowledge when it comes down to, you know, cigars and things that's moving and shaking. So, it wasn't one of those type of things where I got my brand and I'm trying to start, and the whole crab in the bucket syndrome is not like that. You know, we really greet each other. We really show, you know, each other love. You know, you have the big event down in Atlanta, and then, you know, we got one coming up in Texas in May, Cigar Week, and then you have one in Vegas. So we travel the world with this particular lifestyle, and it's a beautiful thing.
So listen, let me ask you this, brother. What about now I know that there are people who have that there are myths in every community, in every industry. What are some of the biggest myths about in the cigar industry that people walk away with?
Some people who's not in the cigar world think a cigar bar is just like going to a nightclub. It's two different things.
That's a good one.
It is two different worlds, two different atmospheres, and I'm quite sure my sister will tell you they don't even compare.
Tell us
at all.
Tell us the difference.
That's one of the biggest things that I noticed. You know, it's when you're in a cigar bar, it's more of a, you know, laid back, elegant setting. And believe it or not, people really get dressed up to go to a cigar bar. You know, so, you know, you get dressed up to go to a nightclub, but when you're there, the atmosphere is totally different. Most of the time, the music is low. Sometimes the lights are dim. You know, it's all about the actual cigar and not, you know, what's going on. And it's not a sports bar, even though you have some sports bars that allow you to smoke, but it's just totally different atmosphere. It's like people who smoke stogies and cigars are not the same people who smoke Black and Mild and a cigar you buy at a gas station. With two different people. And I think my sister can attest to that. being in this particular world also, she may see the same thing that I'm talking about.
Yes. And the conversations for the ladies in a cigar lounge is totally different in a nightclub. The greeting is totally different. How they look at you is totally different. You normally go to a nightclub. You're out to have a good time and dance and drink and maybe meet different people for intimate reasons. But when you walk into a cigar lounge, it's totally different. Everyone asks how you doing. They invite you. You're there to wind down, relax, enjoy your smoke, have various conversations, whether it is business, whether it's just day to day, and whether it's just to network. You just never know what that experience is going to bring each time that you step into a cigar lounge. Mm-hmm. And someone like Anthony, if he's there and giving me a card, I will support him 100% because you see people that are trying to become pioneers in this industry. And you're more likely, if I can go into a lounge and give them $30, $40 for a couple of cigars, definitely if this brother came up to me and spoke to me, he would definitely have my attention right away. Mm-hmm. So that's the vibe that I get when I walk into. You never know what your experience is going to be, and it's enjoyable. You walk away like, wow, I really enjoyed myself. The people there, and nobody's a stranger. Nobody's a stranger. You all part of that culture. It's a family.
That's cool.
I can honestly tell you that there are a multitude of business deals that are being, made or closed or sealed over having a smoke and a drink. You would be surprised, So when you're in the cigar lounge like that, you're sitting next to someone who's a CEO. And then the person to their left may be a sanitation worker. Mm. When you're in a cigar lounge, what you do for a living means nothing to nobody in here. We're in here for the love of the leaf. And that's why we're here and, the camaraderie and the conversation.
Mm-hmm. I love the leaf, though. I love that. That's so cute. Brothers and sisters of the leaf. When we were talking and I was preparing and making notes and getting ready for the show, I was running and coming across acronyms, and I'm gonna tell you over the past, I'm not a cigar smoker, but we talk about a lot of different things. Some things that I don't experience, but we talk about it on the show because people experience it, right? And so I want to bring the conversation, bring the product, service, or the lifestyle to a place where we can have a discussion about it in the cafe. And so I've been educated, y'all, over the past, it's been 72 hours. I have learned so much about the cigar world, and I'm gonna tell you that I just drinking coffee and I'm a beverage drinker. I drink the wine and that kind of thing. And so flavors and verbiage and words and description of flavors, I find myself captivated in it. I can almost taste it if you're telling me about something. So with my conversation with the two of you, and as we were talking about beverages and we talked about the cognac and the coffee and the flavors, I could almost taste it, in the back of my mouth. But so I appreciate that education that you all have provided to me. And if I'm a non-smoker and I have been educated and learned so much, in the past, 5 days that I've been researching this topic, I can just imagine what people who were connected to the two of you are doing and learning as they participate in this lifestyle. So thank you for being transparent and sharing that,
You're welcome.
Now I saw
You're
this.
Quite welcome.
I saw this thing that I thought was phenomenal, and I want I want my brother here to explain that. So I don't know if you all have seen commercials or pictures or actually seen it in person, where if a person is smoking a cigar, they have this long ash on the cigar. And I'm like, what the hell? Is that a picture? Is that like, did they Photoshop that? Like, what is that? Now, how does that happen? What is that?
No, that's not Photoshop. So some people, it takes, it's an art behind it. It definitely is.
Yes.
They have actual competitions of people who smoke cigars and can develop the longest ash, the thickest ash or whatever without it breaking off. So it's truly a lifestyle. It's truly is competition, and it shows that you have growth in the cigar world when you're able to develop an ash like that. That's not something you're gonna pick up a cigar today and learn how to do tomorrow. I'm quite sure my sister can tell you that.
Oh, I'm working on mine, and Soy, I'm starting to learn to perfect that. You can't puff it too fast. You can't puff it too slow. I mean, it is a skill set, and some cigars have those the wrapper and the leaves and the fillers and the binders that give you that perfect ash opportunity. But you have to learn the technique. And I've been working on my skill. And our group have a daily Ash King and Queen contest. And just to see the pictures are unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
So it's a whole thing.
I see.
It's a whole
King
thing.
and Queen contest. Oh, my God. That is awesome. That's so cute. That's so cute. That's so cute. So now let's share a little more information before we wrap up the show. I kind of want to get into some of the brands. I know that there are, especially with the Soul Brothers. I know you guys have lots of brands. I want you to share with the audience some of what the colors mean, and what's considered a dark or a strong cigar, and what's a mild one, and how can we tell that by observing it on site?
When you have a darker cigar, most of the time it's a Maduro, and that is a very strong cigar. A lighter colored cigar, which is kind of sandy, like sandpaper, that would be considered as a Connecticut. And then you have one that's in between a light and a dark, that would be considered as a Habano. So it's basically your flavor profile and how strong you can take, the particular cigar. So, and that sometimes that comes with time. You develop what you like, and then you have a cigar that's called a Tres Capa. And it's a mixture of a Maduro and a Connecticut. And, or you can have, a Maduro, a Connecticut, and a Candela. And the Candela is a green leaf mixed in, with the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
don't forget the Cameroon.
Oh. see how the ladies,
right. I forgot about
how the
that
ladies come through. Help them, Deborah. Tell them, Deborah. Tell them. See, this is why they need us.
And the Maduro leaf. Yes, the Maduro leaf. I love the Maduro leaf, and sometimes it is depending on the line of cigars. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a strong cigar. One of the ones I told you about, the Drew Estates, that I love out of that line is the Fat Bottom Daddy. And also the Undercrown Maduro. It is not an overpowering smoke. However, the one thing that I started with is you have to educate yourself. You have to understand what you're smoking. And you can't just go and say, ooh, I love this label, and then it's the worst cigar ever or something that's outside of what you normally smoke. You cannot ever pick a cigar looking at the label, ever, if you do not know anything about that cigar line, because you will be disappointed or you may be pleasantly surprised. So you have to keep that in mind. Never pick a cigar by the label or because they have some beautiful labels that really catch your eye automatically and you're like, oh wow. But with most cigar lounges, they have the box there and they have the description. And some of them have medium, mild, or full body. Or if it doesn't say that, there's a color wheel that goes from like yellow all the way up to red. So it kind of gives you an idea the flavor profile of this cigar and give you a little background. So you really have to learn because when you're traveling, you never know what the lounge setup is, the humidor, what their setup is. So I never pick a cigar because the label is cool or pretty.
Oh, okay.
That's a mistake.
When do you get to the point that you can kind of taste, whatever is advertised with the cigar, or whatever the cigar is known for, whether it's the flavor, is that throughout the smoking, or how do you when do you get there that you taste this infused flavor?
Infused cigar is just that. It's infused and it'll tell you what most time what it's infused with. A regular cigar is a little bit different because you have to know the background of that cigar, the origin of that cigar, the type of leaf that it's wrapped with, the fillers that it has. And then you can pretty much, once you light it, and lighting the cigar is very important. You don't want to just torch it and just because it'll give you a bitter taste from the beginning. You have to really know how to heat the foot of the cigar and then light it to really start the flavors. And then they start to change about midway. And then towards the end, if you take the label off like I do and smoke it past the label. So the flavor wheel of a cigar, changes based on the cigar itself. So you tend to, well, for me personally, I tend to pick up that if I'm drinking bourbon, if I'm drinking scotch, if I'm drinking whiskey, some of the flavor notes I can start to taste based on what I'm drinking. And I don't know if that's the same for Anthony, because, everybody has a different experience with different types of cigars.
Yes, she's absolutely right. Like me per se, a person who loves, I like to have a beverage with my cigars, but I can't drink whiskey or bourbon, or I can't drink it. The last time I drank it, I was at a stop sign waiting on it to turn green. So I stick, I kind of stick to cognac and champagne because I drink some whiskey. It's over for me, So she's actually telling you the truth, As you smoke a cigar and you really get into it, after a while, you start tasting the different flavors and the makeup of the cigar. Like I have a cigar part of my line called a threesome.
Oh.
It's you have a Maduro, a Connecticut, and a Habano all in one stick. And as you smoke the cigar, you start off with the Connecticut, and then it goes into the Habano, and eventually you hit the Maduro. So you're getting three different flavors all in one stick. So you're gonna take that nutty, woody taste, and then it's gonna elevate to another flavor. Not really so much as a sweet flavor, but you're gonna pick up other things in the cigar. And that particular cigar is a conversational piece because the first time you tell somebody I had my first threesome, people gonna be looking at you kind of strange, you know what I'm saying? But not knowing that you're just saying that you just had a cigar and that's the name of the cigar. So, having a catchy name doesn't necessarily mean it's a great cigar, but it's a conversational piece and just having the experience. So.
I'm gonna tell you, the two of you are this has been an experience for me. I appreciate all the information and the notes and all the tips. But can both of you share a tip about cutting before we exit the show?
For me personally, it depends on what gauge cigar I'm smoking and what style of cigar I'm smoking. So, if it's a torpedo, based on the gauge of that, I might do a V cut. And I tend to lean more towards the V cut or the punch because my gauge may range from a 50 to a 60 gauge. I don't normally go bigger than that because I'm a lady and I personally don't like a huge gauge cigar to try to smoke. But also, I don't care for the straight cut, and it has been my experience seeing people in the lounge when they're cutting their cigar through the straight cut. It's a little cap at the top of your cigar that you don't supposed to cut too far past, because if you do, you tend to get the fillers falling out in your mouth, or your cigar starts to unravel. And now I'm mad because I got to deal with this before I can start to enjoy my cigar. So you really have to know what type of cut you enjoy and what gauge of cigar goes best with what cut for you. So I like the punch and the V cut. It gives me a slower smoke where I can enjoy, as opposed to a straight cut that gives you that full flow of the cigar right from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Antonio?
Because I'm going to be sitting there for a while. So I don't want to feel rushed. And I would hate for anybody to come with me and say I got to leave, because you can't just take a half-smoked cigar with you.
Really?
Exactly.
So you want to sit, you are there. And if you do, you got to know how to blow the smoke out of it, cut it at a certain point, and you better smoke it later that day or the next day, or you can just put it in the trash. Because it's no good after that.
Me personally, majority of cigars that I would smoke would normally be a 60 gauge. And if I'm going to do a 60 gauge, I would do a punch or just a snippet of the cap, straight cut of the cap. If I'm going to go into 70 gauge, I want more of the draw, so I'm going to go with a V cut. I've also tried a punch, and it was a nice experience, but I tend to stick to the V cut.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to let y'all simmer on that, let you simmer on the cutting, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be sharing some closing words from our guests. So y'all hang tight, and we'll be right back. Have you heard? Sponsorships are requested. Coffee Talk with Soy is looking for dynamic entrepreneurs like yourself. If you're motivated, energetic with a message or product, consider advertising with us. It's a win-win. For more information on those advertising and sponsorship packages, visit the website Coffee Talk with Soy or call me at 515-I-GOT-SOY. And again, that's 515-I-GOT-SOY.
I was
All right, if you're just now tuning in with us, you've missed quite a bit. So do share this information with other people that you know are in the are brothers and sisters of the leaf. I get it right. Brothers and sisters of the leaf, or maybe have an entrance. You just never know what people are indulging in, especially now that we're in the pandemic. People are finding more and more things to do at home. Maybe this is something they can start at home if they so desire. But we've shared a wealth of information here in the cafe, and not only that, my two guests are going to share with you where you can reach out to them to join their community and or buy their product or any of their apparel. So we have Soul Brothers, who is Antonio Brooks So, Antonio, where can people get more information about your cigar line, and where can they find you on social media?
Just like Fat Ash, we have a cigar group, and it's called Soul Brother Cigars. You can reach us there, and we have an Instagram page also under Soul Brother Cigars _9001. My direct line is 786-537-4243. And my email address is Antonio H.P. Brooks. You can reach out to me, and like I tell anybody, I don't know who you've been smoking with over the years, but can you pick up the phone and call any one of those companies and talk to the owner of the company? That's what sets Soul Brother Cigars aside from other companies. You can call me direct and have a conversation with me. I'm never going to be too big where customers can't reach me.
Okay. Well, you heard that. Not only you have a nice smoke, you get customer service, you get information, and you get education. So he is at Antonio H.P. Brooks at, and you didn't drop that last bit of your email address. Is that Yahoo?
Yeah.
Gmail?
Comcast. It's Gmail. Antonio HP Brooks at gmail.com.
Gmail.com, that's what it is. Antonio HP Brooks at gmail.com, not Comcast.net. I laugh every time I hear that. Right? Or AOL. Remember AOL? So if y'all if y'all still got those, right? If you still got those email addresses, you need to change it. And you're probably getting a lot of spam too. All right, thanks, Antonio, for that. I appreciate you, brother, and thanks for being here with me in the cafe. All right, Ladybug, tell them where they can find information about the group that you're with, Fat Ash.
Yes, Fat Ash does have a Fat Ash group on Facebook. You can follow them on IG as well, Fat Ash Collection. They also have a web page, fatashcollection.com, which has a variety of gear, accessories, masks. I mean, anything. It's very friendly for both female and male. Cedric Dunston is the owner of the Fat Ash group and just everything that is Fat Ash, actually. So if you're interested, just like Anthony says, he is very welcoming. You can reach out to him. He will call you, message you. He does have his own personal Facebook page as well. So please join us. We'll be happy to have you.
I want to say that. So I talked with Cedric, and it was a great conversation, great energy. He had a previous engagement where he couldn't be on the show today, and so a member of his group that represented the group and came on to be a part of it, to have this experience. And I just love that. And you know, I am such a component of Black businesses, customer service, supporting each other and showing up. And so I just wanted to point that out, that is an example of what we should be doing, you know, to help support people who we do business with, our partners who we're in association with. You know, we show up because opportunities present themselves, and they're not always going to be convenient for us as we like, but you know, we show up. And so thank you, Deborah, for showing up on behalf of the group that you support. So shout out to y'all, and may you continue to do well in all of those endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Any lasting words you want to leave with in the cafe before you exit the show?
Basically, continue to put some smoke in the air. Most importantly, for what we're going through in the world right now, please wear your mask so we can get back to normal living.
Oh, he sounds so responsible. He sounds so responsible. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all yours, babe. Go
yes.
ahead.
Yes. I would like to say, just being part of being a sister of the leaf, it has been a great experience. And like you said, the support of each other is so very important to keep this community growing and vibing. And Anthony, I wish you much success. Seems like you're off to a wonderful start. Soy, your podcast, awesome. Thank you for having me. It was an honor to be on your show this morning and share any information. And I hope that it helps someone out there, especially a sister wanting to become a part of the cigar culture. So I want them to come on in and feel comfortable. Because it used to be a stigma that women shouldn't smoke cigars or they shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. That's not how we view our beautiful sisters of the leaf.
We welcome them. We welcome them with open arms.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you both, and thank you for hanging out here with me in the cafe. Y'all keep smoking. I'm gonna keep sipping over here. And for all of you who are interested in being a guest on the show, don't forget to visit the website. CoffeeTalkwithSoy.com is where you can visit and contact me there. There is a contact form, so if you're interested in being a guest, put that information in there. If you want to just leave a comment of how you felt about the show, some information we shared, do that there too. And for all of my previous and past guests who've been on the show, do go there and share your experience. And if you know someone that has a product or service that they're interested in putting out there, please have them reach me at CoffeeTalkwithSoy.com. We want you to come on and be our guest, right? Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. So thank y'all for hanging out with me here in the cafe. And I will see you all next Saturday. So you continue to be safe, continue to quarantine, wear your mask, and be selective of who you spend your time with. Okay? All right. It can make all the difference in the world. So
yes.
Yes. Be selective who you spend your time with. Not just because of COVID, but because your surroundings impact who you are. So go out there and be great.
I just love this show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward
Have
to
a great day.
possibly coming back on the show at another time.
Absolutely.
I just love this show. Coffee Talk with Soy, that is your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'd like to thank the listeners and the guests for joining me in the cafe today. What a wonderful time we had, yes indeed. Don't forget to download the app Coffee Talk with Soy from your app store. It's available on iTunes and Google Play. Stay connected, folks, by visiting the website CoffeeTalkwithSoy.com, as well as looking for us under your social media sites. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Coffee Talk with Soy. Remember, the size of the problem is never the issue. Remember, it's the size of you. Be great because you are awesome. Tell them Soy said so. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.